Good afternoon and welcome back to the workbench. So today I just want to do a quick little video on cleaning dust out of this PlayStation 4 here, which belongs to my friend, and he just bought second hand for a pretty good price because the hard drive was not plugged in properly, which I think was pretty hilarious. And you can access the hard drive in these by simply just grabbing this shiny top cover part and just pushing it sideways and then lifting it up. So the hard drive is just a 2.5 inch standard laptop SATA drive. Has a little bracket in there and a little screw. So you just undo this screw here on the end, this Phillips one, slides the tray out, and you can swap the hard drive, upgrade it, whatever, if you want to do that. But that's not what this video is about. That's already been rectified. So yeah, the purpose of this is to clean the dust out. Now he bought the second hand, as I said, so it's had a lot of use. It's got a bit of dirt on it. I've cleaned the outside fairly well. There's a lot of scratches, but you know, can't really do anything about that. There's definitely dust you can see around the sides, especially here with the air intake and that. So you know, who knows what the dust buildup is in here? And he just asked if I could open it up and clean out any dust that's in there. So I don't know what the story behind this is. I've never opened it before. I don't know how much dust is in there. I did have it running before and it seemed to work, but hadn't played any games, so I don't know if it's going to overheat or anything. But there were no bad sounds from it. The fan didn't make a noise, so anyway, I don't know. Seems to be in not too bad condition, so who knows what the state of that is. Anyway, so to open this you need some security Torx bits. Now I've got some here in this bunch of random security bits. Well, you don't necessarily need them, but I personally like to use the correct bit for the job. I mean, this is not my console, so I want to use the correct tools. I mean, you can convert a security Torx to a regular Torx by just snapping the center pin off, but like I said, I wouldn't want to do that to something that's not mine. Yeah, anyway, so I'm going to use the official one, but you know, if you don't care, you can always just snap that thing off and use a regular Torx or even a flathead. I've used flatheads before on Torx screws, you know, not the official way of doing it, and you will potentially damage the driver and the screw a bit, but hey, you know, in a pinch it'll work. Not recommended, but it'll work. These things are cheap, you can get these, you know, just about anywhere, so, you know, not that bad if you can get some. Anyway, so I'm going to change the camera angle and get a close-up on this, and I'll hopefully show how we can do this. Now, like I said, the easiest access is to take this top cover off to get the hard drive, but obviously to get anything else you have to take the rest of the console apart. So I believe there are 4 screws at the back here, 2 below these warranty stickers, and 2 on this side there below these just plain blank stickers. Again, I mean, you can just punch your screwdriver through those and rip them out if you want, but it's not going to look very good afterwards. So what I'm going to do with that is just heat these up with a bit of hot air and then try and just lift them off, soften the glue and just lift them off so they're, you know, they look nice afterwards. I can put them back, even though the warranty stickers will probably shred or something, but you know, hey, won't matter, at least it will look okay. But then you can take this part here off and get access to the PSU and the fan, which hopefully I'll be able to just take the power supply out, clean any dust out of that, and then clean any dust out of the heatsink and fan just from the top access. I don't really want to take the whole console apart and take the fan apart and everything like that if I don't have to. To do that requires taking it off the motherboard and therefore breaking the thermal paste and all that stuff, so then I'd have to redo all that, and you know, if you want to do it properly you have to repaste the whole CPU and all that, and technically, you know, you should replace all the RAM thermal pads that you break the contact on because they won't align perfectly when you put it back together. All that kind of stuff. I don't really want to have to deal with that just for a basic cleaning, so hopefully I can get away with just taking the top cover off and just blowing any dust out, vacuuming it out, whatever. So that's my plan anyway. Hopefully that's how it will go. Yes, anyway, we'll see. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to try and deal with are these stickers here. So I'm going to get my hot air tool and turn that on. I'm going to have that on the lowest setting, 160 degrees Celsius. Just wait for it to warm up. And yeah, I'm just going to gently heat these and then probably just use this little pin here and just sort of try and lever them off. You could also maybe use something like a razor blade or something. Here's like half a razor blade. Or maybe a spudger or something. a knife, I don't know. Probably best not to get something too sharp. The razor blade's probably not the best idea. It might scratch up the plastic or something, but you know, whatever, something should work. So this is now at the correct temperature. I'll just bring this in here. Let's see, hot air tool. Obviously, you know, you don't want this too hot. You don't want to melt the plastic or anything. But if I just gently warm the sticker up. This underneath. Something seems to be happening. See, can I get that with my... There we go. So that's come off fairly cleanly. I mean, it has voided. You can see the thing through there, but you know, not a big deal. At least it will look better than just breaking a hole through it with a screwdriver. If you actually want to keep the sticker intact, there are probably better ways of doing this, but again, oh, is there a screw under that? Oh no, looks like the sticker might have come in half. Is there another layer there? Huh. There we go. Okay, so I mean, yeah, again, it's voided, but whatever. So let's do that for the other two, and then that'll be that. It looks like these two end ones, the one down here and the one up here, might be easier to get at with a razor blade, in fact, because they're a bit thicker than the warranty stickers. So just to bring that in there, and then sort of just take this in the side like this, just lift it up like that. That just comes off. So yeah, they're not too difficult. Definitely a lot easier if you heat them up a bit there. So yeah. Oh yeah, and if you want somewhere to keep the stickers so they don't get dirty or anything, I find like a here's an old VHS label from a tape, and I've taken one of the labels off, and there's the sort of waxy sticker backing coating here, so I just stick the stickers onto that. They won't adhere to it, and it'll save the glue, and they won't get dust all over them. So something like that is a good idea. So now we just take the Torx bits out. Well, Torx bits. Take the Torx screws out with the Torx bit. They're pretty simple, so let's put those to the side there. And now it should be just a case of lifting this front cover off. Well, actually it's the bottom cover, isn't it? So I believe we just lift that from the back here. So you pop off some little clips, I guess. Let's see, lift that from that side, and there we go. So that just comes off, and you can see, yeah, there's a bit of dust there, but it's not excessive, I guess. I'll just put this on out of the way. So I've got the system there. So there's some dust around here. There's definitely dust in the fan, but it's not excessive. So hopefully I should just be able to loosen it with a brush and suck it out with a vacuum. Probably won't have to do anything more extensive than that. I mean, that spins freely and is completely silent, so you know the fan is obviously still in good order. Okay, so now we can take the power supply out. So this is this module here, and I believe it just plugs in down this end. There's 5 screws around here to hold it in, and obviously these little grounding clips to ground it to the shield on the inside of the case. So there's 5 screws there, and there's also this little wire here on the side which you need to unplug. Should be able to just pull it out. Just grab it. This. There we go. So yeah, just grab that, pull it. So we got Torx there, Torx here, Torx there, and 2 Phillips. Okay. So take those out. These are just going into plastic, it looks like, so they're very easy. You don't want to over tighten these when you put it back in, or you'll strip them. And then we've got, what have we got? We've got the Phillips ones. And again, these just go, okay, these are quite long, so they probably do go into metal or something, so obviously that makes sense because they are part of the grounding thing. So we got those, and then the power supply should just lift out. Now it is plugged in, obviously there's a plug down this end that it plugs to the motherboard, so you probably want to lift there. Let's see. Let's grab it from this end, so my thumb in this hole and just pull it up. And I think that should get it. Let's see. Alright. Oh, yep. There we go. So that's come out pretty easily. And there's some dust in there, but not a huge amount. So yeah, it looks like there's a couple of sort of little contacts there, like spade contacts or something. So those plug onto these 2 prongs just down here. So obviously that's the main power, probably like, I don't know, 12 volts or something? No idea. It says on here DC output, 4.7 volts, 3 amps, 12 volts, 17 amps. So who knows? I don't know if that's 1 prong per voltage and then the ground is through those screws or something maybe. I don't know. It has a list for 2 different things, 12 and 4.7 and a 12 volt only, so I don't know. Anyway, who knows? But yeah, power supply looks pretty good, as you'd expect, I guess, from a quality Sony product. Anyway, so let's put that over there. So yeah, everything looks pretty good. Heatsink actually looks pretty clean. I don't know if you can see in there, but see if I can shine some light through there. I don't know if that works, but you can't see much dust or anything, so yeah, I guess it should be easy to do this. I'll just brush this dust out and suck it out with a vacuum cleaner. If you had a lot of dust build up in this heatsink, you know, get some compressed air in a can or air blower gun, something, blow it through and then suck it out or something. But obviously for the best cleaning you'd want to take the whole thing apart, but then you'd have to repaste everything and all that, so I don't want to have to do that, so I'm just going to clean off the dust from here. So I'm not going to take it apart any further. If you do want to replace the drive or replace the fan or something, I'm sure there are plenty of videos that show how to do that. Okay, so I've pretty much done everything, but I have noticed when looking from this angle, I don't know if I can get this on camera or not, I don't know if it's possible, but if I look down in here, I don't think the camera's going to show it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can see the front side, well, front side, but the one side of the heatsink anyway. So that's where the air blows in, and obviously it blows out on this side here. So you can see on there is some kind of dust build-up. I mean, again, this thing's not that bad, but there's kind of a bit of dust starting to build up on that intake side. So I'm going to get a narrow brush, and I'm going to put that down in between the blades and just loosen that dust while I apply vacuum as well. So should be able to loosen that up, because if I do leave that there, it's just going to start building up more, I guess. But the fan itself is pretty good, and nothing else down there looks too bad. I mean, that's all pretty clean, really, as you can see. So yeah, not really anything worth worrying too much about. Nothing worth taking the whole thing apart and having to repaste it and all that for. But that those bits there, oh, that's a better angle. Yeah, you can probably just see just down in here. In fact, I wonder if I can zoom in at all. Get that like that, but yeah, you can see on the intake side of that heatsink, there's definitely a little bit of build up there. So yeah, I'm just going to get rid of that before it has a chance to get any worse. So yeah, that's worked pretty well. Like I said, there wasn't much dust there to begin with. If you can see, not sure if you can see the fins there of the heatsink. So you can see they're pretty well cleaned out there. I can't show all of them, obviously, just the angle of the camera and all that, but it is certainly pretty good. Okay, so now I've got most of the dust out. There might be some still hiding around in little bits here underneath the optical drive or something, but like I said, it doesn't really matter. It's pretty simple to just put the whole thing back together. So let's grab the power supply. That should just slot back in here. Just be careful to get that wire out of the way while you do that. So just push that in here and clip that in, and then just plug this back in here. Just tuck that in there so it doesn't get pinched on the case when you put that back together. And then it's just a case of putting these screws back in. Got the two long Phillips ones with the little clips, and the 3 security Torx. Go like that. So just put these in. So making sure those ones are tight but not too tight. And then these ones here, the Torx, like I said, they're just going into plastic, so make sure you don't get those too tight or you'll strip the plastic. Just get it tight enough to hold the thing in place. It's not a big deal, it's not structural or anything, it's just stopping that from falling out. So that's all good, and then we can put the lid back on. Well, not the lid really, it's actually the bottom. So anyway, let's see. Now, good thing worth noting here, this power button is obviously some kind of capacitive touch sensor, because you've got this little bit of metal here with a sort of prong on the end of it, and that goes down on the motherboard to this little contact here, and obviously that's a capacitive touch IC sensor probably. So if your power button isn't working, it could quite possibly be this might have gotten rusty and is making bad connection or something, or could have got bent. Obviously make sure you don't bend this while you're cleaning it or anything. Or that IC could go bad, I guess. Anyway, is that the power button? No, that's the eject button. What am I talking about? The power button's on the other side. Okay, well, there we go. Never mind. So this obviously has this lip on the front here, so we just hook this in over the front there. Let's see. Hook that in over the front, bring it down, and then we can just put that down to get the clips on. So that's all clipped back on, and now it's just a simple case of installing the screws. So those just go in there, kind of on an angle, you can see. So they're not straight, they're not like this, they actually go in like that. So be careful to get the angle right so you don't cross-thread them or anything. So they go, yeah, like this. So you should get practically no resistance when you put these in. If it feels tight, then you probably got it cross-threaded. But it's just going into plastic and it's very loose. And then right at the end you just got a little bit of tightness. But again, don't tighten it too much or you'll chew the plastic up. There we go, and that's that. So then it's the question of just putting the stickers back on, basically, and then that's it, done. So I'll just chuck those on. Let's see. Get our stickers here. So we've got the two go on the end there, and the two warranty stickers, but yeah, can't really do anything about that. They're a bit worse for wear because they're designed to rip in half, obviously. So unfortunately they don't look perfect, but oh well, it's better than nothing. It does cover up the screw heads, so it's not too bad. But yeah, that looks alright. So I guess I have to give it a test to make sure it still actually works. So I might just go plug this into my TV, and yeah, I would plug it up my monitor up there, but it doesn't have an HDMI input. I'd have to get a DVI to HDMI cable or something, and I don't have one of those at the moment. So, well, at least not one that actually works. I've got one that's in two pieces, and I need to fix it. And a friend of mine had it, and he cut one of the ends off so you could get it through a hole in the wall or something. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to wire a new HDMI plug onto that, and that. But that's for a different video. So that's all done. We'll see if it still goes. So there we go, that's how to quickly clean some dust out of a PlayStation 4. I guess you can use this to clean it pretty well anyway, as long as you have compressed air or some sort of blower if there's a severe amount of dust in there. But for a light amount of dust like this, it's just sufficient to use brushes and vacuum cleaner, which seem to work pretty well. So yeah, shouldn't be an issue with that. If you are having overheating issues with a system like this and cleaning out the dust doesn't seem to make any difference, and as long as you can tell the fan is actually working, hasn't failed or something, it could just be the thermal paste has degraded over time and needs to be refreshed. That can happen sometimes. But yeah, aside from that though, it should be fine. I did notice my friend had one of these sort of extra cooling attachments that clips on the back there. And this one is actually a little bit faulty in that some of the fans are very noisy. Well, I mean, it's not faulty, it still works, but the fans are very noisy and it's not particularly pleasant to use. I don't know if these things are actually actually have any point to them. I don't know much about PlayStation 4s in general and whether or not these coolers are actually necessary or help. But it appears he was using it, and it was interesting to look at because it sits over the back vents here, and these vents go all the way along on these three. This section here, this section there, and this section there. While this thing here, it has some fans there. There's two little tiny fans, maybe like 20mm fans there, and maybe like a 40mm fan over here. But interesting enough, this whole section here is actually all completely blocked off with a some kind of insulated thing. Possibly it's a power supply, because this plugs directly into the mains there. Kind of pass-through sort of plug thing. So it must be like a little power supply in here. So this is actually, when this sits on here, it actually blocks, a good inch and a half or so of this vent there, where the I assume the power supply for these fans goes. So yeah, I'm not really sure if that actually makes sense or not. I mean, if the fans are sufficiently powerful, I guess it may not make a difference, or it may improve cooling, but in terms of like the actual thing itself, I don't know if it's really necessary, or if it would actually make things worse potentially by blocking off half of these two vents here. I don't know. I mean, the system is obviously designed with a decent fan in there, and presuming it's clean and the thermal paste and everything is fine, and the fan is functioning, I don't see really why you'd need to add one of these, unless maybe you're in a very hot country or something. But again, I mean, it is blocking access to these vents, so I don't know. I'm not sure if it actually is a good idea. Anyway, I probably wouldn't use one myself, but there you go. Anyway, so that's like I said, clean up a PS4. It does still work. Everything's good. So yeah, should be able to give that back to my friend, and should be perfectly fine, hopefully. So unless the thermal paste has failed, but hopefully I won't have to redo that. But it's not a particularly difficult thing to do either. Just didn't really want to do it for this video here. Just wanted to do a quick clean of the fan, because that's probably all that's really necessary. So yeah, that's about it. So hopefully that was useful, and I'll see you next time.